So, hello everyone. I hope you are doing excellent, and if not, then we are here to make your college time excellent with fun of learnings and full of Azure Microsoft Cloud learnings. So, me, your host Lakshit Pant, is going to take you forward along with Anirik Shah. So today we are going to start. Today is our day one of our Microsoft Azure Basics of Bootcamps, and we'll be starting you from the very scratch to Microsoft Certified trainings. So let me give a little brief about Microsoft Azure Developer Community. So we are a budding community specified by Microsoft, and we are helping students and colleges to get certified. Microsoft Azure gets cloud certified. So will help you out. Like we are doing lot many initiatives in sort of in the form of boot camp, some quizzes every day, and some like events also, some specified events also. We have 100 plus cities in we have covered so far 100 plus cities with our Azure developer lead. So today we are having Niriksha as our expert speaker, and he'll be your guide for next 3 days, and he'll be teaching you the Microsoft Azure fundamentals from very scratch. If you don't know what is cloud computing, how cloud exactly looks like, so she'll be guiding you further. So Niriksha is working as a cloud engineer in entity data services. She's Microsoft certified, and she's entity data services certified also. So she's doing excellent in cloud world. So over to you, Niriksha.
Yeah, hello everybody. So here I am going to do the bootcamp on AZ900. AZ900. So today is like the first day. So you're going to get only the introduction in cloud. So everybody fasten your seatbelt. So we are going to start the session. So I'm just going to share the slides with you. Yeah. So when Microsoft Azure Fundamentals 900. So if I'm going to put it on the chat, the exam code. So if you Google this, you'll get to know what is this exam about, and I'm going to share the syllabus also with you people, so that you get to know like what are we going to do in this session. So coming to the agenda of this today, so you are getting to know what is cloud computing, and you'll get to identify the benefits and consideration of using the cloud services. Like what are the benefits? Like when you're using some services, you obviously need some benefits like high availability, cost, efficiency, scalability, security, and privacy. And then the third agenda comes like difference between the category of cloud services. So categories of cloud services matlab infrastructure as a service, serverless computing, platform as a service, and software as a service. So these are the different types of cloud services. And when you come to the last agenda, so there are type of cloud computing like public cloud, hybrid, and private cloud. So this is the agenda for today. So anybody from the audience, what is cloud? Any idea what is cloud? So basically, if you see in the natural way, it's like a cloud is a natural object which is created naturally. But when you're coming to the technical part, basically the cloud refers to the servers that are accessed over the internet. So the softwares and the databases that run on those servers. So these cloud servers are located in data centers all over the world. So for those who don't know what is a data center, I would like to show you an example. Just a minute. Yeah, so you can see these are the data centers. So what happens in these data centers? There are compute storages like there are different racks. In these racks, you'll get the compute network storage, and to maintain these data centers, the cloud providers shell out a lot of money, like to maintain the cooling, the atmosphere required for the server, so that your cloud runs perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm coming back to the slide. Yeah. So just imagine your old phone gets spoiled and you're shifting to a new phone and you're trying to log into an Instagram account, and your old pictures, conversation history, everything is still intact when you open from a new phone in Instagram. So basically, if you see the cloud mail providers like Gmail and Microsoft 365, so if you open from any device, your mailbox is secured, like you will get to see the mailbox from anywhere in any device. And you have the cloud storage like the Dropbox and Google Drive. So Google Drive is offering 15 gigs of free space. So basically the advantage of cloud computing when you're coming to business is like it removes the IT cost, the overhead of maintaining a data center. Like you got to know, right, how the cost of the data center is too much, the maintenance is very much. So this especially makes an impact for small businesses that they may not have been effort. It's not affordable, like to maintain a data center. Uh, like if you have customers internationally to, like when you have to, like the customer wants to access some part of the resources, so but he's in some other location. So if you have a data center to put that files in that thing, it will take a lot of time. So when you have a cloud, it's easy, it's accessible all over the world. So you everybody might have a picture in the mind, like how does this cloud computing work? So basically cloud computing was only possible because of the technology called as virtualization. So what is virtualization? So virtualization is like you're creating a digital only, like there is a, like the objects of a virtual computer is like all the imagine you have a physical computer, okay, with 8 gigs of RAM and 1 TB of space. So but it is in virtual memory. I mean, in virtual space you have more space, like you have 10 GBs of RAM, then 2 TB of space. So using a virtual network or a virtual computer, you'll get more computing space. So that is cloud computing. So as you can see here, in the diagram, so I'm a user device. So basically from the laptop or any device, you can access the cloud via the browser. So basically I'm going to share the link of the Azure portal. So if you people check out this, you'll get to know what is the Azure portal. So I'm going to share how the portal looks. Yeah, so this is the Azure portal. So basically where if you're logging in as a new user, so it's going to show as welcome to Azure. So you don't have a subscription for now. Subscription is like, imagine you have a Netflix account and you subscribe for some of the resources, so you need to pay like, I guess you have to show, give the credit card so that you get the subscription. So same way, similar way in Azure also, if you have to start subscription, it's like a free trial. You'll get 1 month free trial. So if you sign up, yeah, if you sign up to this, you will have to fulfill the credit card information, and then Azure will give you, like, yeah, see, you have to identify by card. So you'll get popular services is free for 12 months. That is after your free account is done, you have to do use it as pay as you go method. So when you're using for the first 30 days, you'll get 13,300 rupees credit, so you can use all the resources. Sorry. Yeah. What is benefits of cloud computing? So when you're using anything, you need benefits. So basically if you're using a mobile phone, you need benefit. So it's like, what are the benefits of a mobile phone? You can contact to anybody, you can chat over a phone, you can WhatsApp, send images. So basically similar way in cloud computing also there are some benefits. So basically when we talk about the benefits, uh, we have, first one is privacy. So privacy is very important. So basically when you use Azure resources, you're entrusting, I mean the trust of your data is with Azure. So you trust the privacy and confidentiality of the data you store in Azure. So basically whatever data you store is in the control of the users. Basically what I want to say is like, basically Facebook uses the data for processing and mining to get market outcomes, or for advertising. But in Azure, they do not share the data with the advertised support services, because only with the agreement of the user, if imagine a company wants to market themselves, or if some of the data is not used, so with the agreement of the user, they can share that data to the third party, to get the analysis. So that happens like you are controlling your data. So if you leave the Azure services and your subscription expires, so Microsoft has strict rules like how your data is removed from the system safely and securely. And the benefit of using Azure is like, you know, that Azure data centers are spread all across the world. Around 150 data centers are located around the globe. So the vast range of the data centers. So you can like imagine I want to keep my data in Central Asia, and also I want to keep it in East US. So I have an advantages of storing in multiple regions. Like if this something happens in this data centers, my data is already secured in the Central Asia region. So you know the where, so you can choose where the data is located and the safety also. So and basically you might know that Azure also secures data at rest and transit. What do you mean by data at rest? Data at rest means like data is written into the system but it is not being used continuously. So such data, when it is written into the Azure platform, basically it uses encryption through the 256-bit AES encryption. So to maintain these encryption methods, Azure uses the Azure Key Vault services, where the customer managed keys, the the hardware controller, everything is managed by Azure Key Vault. So we also have the client side encryption. So you can manage even the on-store key is also can be stored in Azure Key Vault. And when the data is in transit, meaning the data is moving from one region to another region, so which is having quick movability or it is accessed frequently. So Microsoft adheres to the IEEE standards of Mac security, and it enables the industry-specific protocols for giving the security, like the Internet Protocol and the Transport Layer Protocol. And the next, when we come, is high availability. So basically, everybody, as a human being, nobody is available 24 bar 7. But when you're coming into cloud, it should be available. So more the uptime, more the productivity, and less downtime means more productivity in business. So basically, what is high availability? So high availability is like the system guarantees a certain percentages of uptime. Uptime means your system is running for imagine 365 days 24 bar 7, means it's never shut down. So that is uptime. So Azure provides 99.9% of uptime, and the time which it will be downtime is only 0.1%. So there are basically three important elements of high availability. Those that is like imagine failover. Imagine one system fails. Imagine like I give an example. If your Central Asia location ka virtual machine is failing, or the data is corrupted, or if that data center is not functioning well, your data is directly transferred to one more region. So it monitors even the failover activity and it moves to the active component. So that is high availability. So and imagine if your VM is not running, or if the health of the resource is not proper. So it Azure has monitoring facilities like the application insights to know that what is happening inside the application. So basically this helps in improving the features of Azure. So next comes as scalability. So basically, what is the example of scalability? Imagine okay, imagine Flipkart is going to have the big billion day in the coming October or November. So that time, when there is big billion day, number of users going to the Flipkart site will be more. Like there will be lot of users coming into that site. So that the site doesn't go down and it has to function properly, they may need extra number of resources and servers for them to function properly. So that is like your scaling is like imagine you have 2 gigs of RAM in your 4 GB of RAM laptop you have got, but that is not enough for your system. You're going to upgrade the RAM to 8 GB, 16 GB, and so on. So that is like scaling. So basically there are three methods of scaling in Azure. So one is scaling up and down, and scaling out and auto scaling. What is scaling up? Typically I told, like if there is increased demand. So scaling up mostly includes for CPU, memory, and storage resources. So So imagine memory. So you have a virtual machine with the 4 gigs of RAM. So that is not enough for your apps to function. So you're going from 4 to 8 GB. So that is like an upgrade. So that is scaling up. So scaling down is like when, imagine your server is decommissioned. Decommission means it's not used. You, or the service is expired for that VM. You're going to degrade this service of 4 GB gigs of RAM to 2 GB, something like that, or you can remove that resource also. Scaling out is like I told, when the demand increases, you're supposed to shell out new resources. Like you are able to add new servers to run that business critical applications. So using load balancer and other technologies, the new servers added to the pool of resources and traffic can make them run accordingly. So as I told, like the big billion example, so it is a mission critical business critical application, so it has to run on that day. So if it goes down, Flipkart is going to lose lot of money. So they need extra resources. So that is like scaling out. So what is auto scaling? So auto scaling is like automatic scaling. So you already know, like there is a surge going to, I mean, the demand for the servers or the traffic is going to surge up. So at that time, auto scaling is, it can be done automatically or it can be done manually also. So that is the advantages of automated scaling. Like yeah, so automatically the resources are allocated on that particular day, and there is no wastage of the resources. So that is an advantage of auto scaling when you're coming to scalability. So everybody likes free pizzas, right? So everybody likes cost cutting in everything. When you see offer, everybody goes and buys. So same way in cloud. So like I told, cloud providers like Microsoft are having large business and are able to leverage the benefits of cost, and they pass their benefits to their customers also. So basically, like a startup, I told, who wants to acquire hardware and software applications at lower cost, they need such cloud providers. So basically, when Microsoft offers great discounts to its customers when you're buying in bulk, like basically based on the compute storage, the VM or the servers which you're buying, you get a lot of discounts so that your business runs perfectly smooth. And over the last decade, the cloud storage has been, I mean, what? The storage costs for the data centers because of the cloud has been decreased in the past decade. So the cloud is booming all the way. So these are the benefits. So imagine, okay, capex and opex. So what is capex? Capex is capital expenditure and opex is operational expenditure. Imagine in a for capex, just take a real world example. So you have a what? Yeah, you have you buy a shop in a mall. So you have to shell out money for the furniture, electricity, the new furniture, chairs, even the employee also. So that is like you're investing for the lifetime in that business. So okay, when you come to opex, imagine the same shop, but the shop is already well furnished. You're just taking it for rent. So that will be like you're taking only, it's like you're leasing stuff. So basically, when you come to cloud, it's like the upfront cost on the physical infrastructure. Basically, the physical infrastructure is the data center here. So here you need to plan your expenses. So capex includes the server cost, storage cost, network, backup, and archive. So you also need technical person to install, deploy, and manage the systems in data centers, or even at the data recovery site. So which is very expensive. So because when the server cost is like server clustering, redundant power supplies, so you have to pay shell out a lot of money for the electricity and even the uninterrupted power supplies. Because just imagine you have a data center and suddenly the power cuts, your business is really affected too much. So that comes in capex. So here in opex, it is like you're leasing software and customized features. So responsibility to deprovision the resources when they aren't in use so that you can minimize the cost. So basically, imagine you're using the Kubernetes services in Azure. So basically, for now, I'm using it for 10 days. So you're only charged for 10 days of that service. No extra charge is used. So billing is at the organization level always. Like most of the time, you're paying only for the monthly use. So for whatever you're using, only for that you're able to pay. So next comes the consumption based model. So similar way, you can take an example like Netflix. So imagine you are in the free trial period. Uh, like okay, 14 days of Amazon Prime. So you get 14 days of Amazon Prime. After 14 days, the service gets expired. So now you have to upgrade to to use the service. So you have to pay monthly charges, like maybe minimal charge. So that is like pay as you go, like paying for what you use. So same way when you come to cloud here, as I showed you in the first, if you open the link and register through the credit card, you'll get 1 month of free subscriptions. So you can go through the resources for 1 month freely. So in the coming month, after 1 month, when your subscription expires, you're going to upgrade to paid service. So paid looks like you're paying for what you're using, only for the services which are used. And basically, if you have to add new services, you can extra cost is there. So basically, now you're using standard services for everything. Like you're using standard OS disk for a VM that is having 4 gigs of RAM. So now you want to upgrade to premium. Premium is costing a bit more, so extra charge is charged. So imagine after 1 year your subscription gets expired. So again you have to renew the subscription. It is not a cycle, but that is a process of the consumption based model. So basically you can see a graph on the below. So basically it's like choice of abstraction and its impact on the system cost. So basically here what I'm trying to tell is like from 0 to 100. So if you take 600 as the peak value of the services which are using, starting from 8 to 6 p.m, if you check for the graph, so basically you're going to always start with the fixed minimum level of performance and use architectural patterns. Like if you can see that blue outline, which is the user load. So at 8 p.m it was at 0, and suddenly it hits a threshold of 600, means it is the user load is impacting the system cost. And soon as you get the traffic as the traffic coming into the system reduces, the user load also decreases. So basically if you keep the threshold, you can see the impact on the system cost. So that is a good thing in Azure, so which is helping a lot of users. So if you come to shared responsibility model, so there is on premise is obviously a data center. So here in on premise everything is managed by us. So you can see the blue color is cloud provider. So take the cloud provider as Azure. So when in on premise private cloud, everything is managed by us: the operating system, the computing, the storage, like the security personnel, the technical person, the replacement of the racks, the application, the runtime, operating system, the cost cutting, the server storage, network cost, backup, organization, continuity, so that the organization keeps working, and the disaster recovery. Everything is dependent on premise. That's basically a data center. So infrastructure as a service is like Azure offers you the foundational level of services like compute, networking, storage, and all the other infrastructure is managed by the users. Like we are responsible for the uh, upgradation of the service, like the scaling up of the virtual machine, the runtime, the operating system. So when you come to next, platform as a service, so you can take an example for platform as a service as a processed food. So imagine in shops nowadays you get ready-made chapatis. Just you have to come home and fry it and eat it actually. So if you take that example, that is an example for platform as a service. So I just want to show you something. Yeah, so basically like I told, right, platform as a service is like a processed example. So here you get complete development and deployment facilities in the cloud. So not only the servers and storage, but you also get extra components like middleware development, BI tools, so DB. So you get lot of complete development is there in platform as a service. So next, when you come to software as a service, take example of ordering a pizza. So basically, you take your mobile app, put the pizza you like, and order it. So it's just delivered. I mean, the if you take application runtime and operating system as the base crust and the pizza being prepared, so those are the steps, and storage might be I mean, the delivery to us. So that is like, take pizza as an example for software as a service. So basically, what is software as a service is, it allows users to connect to cloud-based apps over the internet. So common examples are email, calendaring, and office tools like Office 365. So SaaS provides a complete solution for all the cloud-based apps. So you can rent an app for your organization and use it over the internet. So that was the shared responsibility model. Like, shared matlab, some of the resources are shared by the user, some of the resources are shared by the cloud provider. So basically, there's mutual understanding. Okay, the categories of cloud services, the same thing which I've explained. So in depth, we are going for the infrastructure as a service. So what is infrastructure as a service? So it is a type of cloud computing service. Okay, so basically, it is mostly essential for compute, storage, and networking resources on demand. So it is like one of the four types of other cloud services. So you have serverless computing, software, and other. So basically, when we're using infrastructure as a service, migrating your organization's infrastructure to an IaaS as a solution helps you reduce maintenance. So basically, right now you have got to know, right, when you come to on-premise data centers, saving money is very important to run your organization. So you can save money on hardware costs and gain real-time business insights. So basically, infrastructure as a service gives you flexibility to scale your IT resources up or down based on your demand. So if you have to provision new VMs, so quickly within 2 days, you get an order like, I need a VM within 2 days. So infrastructure as a service quickly provisions to help new application and increase the reliability. So, and there are a lot of advantages. So the common IA scenarios are lift and shift migration. So you might think, what is lift and shift migration? So lift and shift is like, this is the fast and the least expensive method of migrating. So basically, now I'm migrating my on-premise application to cloud. So without refactoring the underlying architecture, like not changing the architecture, what is in the on-premise, I can increase the scale and performance, enhance the security, and reduce the cost of running the application using lift and shift. Then test and development. So the advantage of infrastructure as a service is that, see, basically, now you're trying to deploy a virtual machine, say in the East US region, and you have to perform certain tests, right? So you can't directly put it in the production environment so that it doesn't hamper any application. So you can put it in the development or test environment and test it in the development and the testing phase, and then you can deploy it in the production environment. So this helps in bringing applications to the market faster. So there is high performance computing. So basically, when high performance computing is like computing on supercomputers, computer grids, include protein, like examples include like that protein folding which comes in the biology, and the earthquake simulations, the climate and the weather predictions, the financial modeling, product design evaluation. So infrastructure as a service is mostly used for high performance. So there are a lot of advantages of IAS. So enhanced security. So basically, security is very important. So if there is a data breach, most of the resources are lost, or the company has to suffer a lot of disasters. So with appropriate service agreement, a cloud provider can offer better security for your application. So any questions on this?
Yes, like we do have some questions here.
Okay.
So just a second. Like Hershey is asking how load balancing helps in cloud
Okay.
computing.
Okay. So, so load balancer is acting like a reverse proxy. So it represents a virtual network representing the application to the client. So the client connects to the VPN, and the load balancer makes a determination through its algorithm to send the connection to a specific instance or a server. So basically, you're going to connect to a specific instance. It's okay. Take an example like a traffic cop. So basically, imagine you're breaking rules of the traffic, and you're punished for that, and you're given a chit or something like that, and then you're going to follow the rules, right? So load balancing, it efficiently distributes incoming network across a group of backend servers. It is also known as a server pool or a server farm. Server pool is a set of servers. So I told, right, it acts like a traffic cop sitting in front of the servers, and it routes client requests across all the servers to fulfill all the requests coming to it, so that it provides maximum speed and capacity utilization, and it ensures that no server is overworked. So because if that server is overworked, your performance is degraded. So the load balancer, basically, the name only suggests like it's balancing the load. So if a single server goes down, the load balancer directs the traffic to the remaining online servers. So I think it's answered.
Yeah, perfect. So there is another question Nikhil is asking. So I guess he's talking about cloud computing. He's asking, but it's feasible economically. He's asking about the cost and all these things.
Okay, I guess I have to show the pricing calculator now. Yeah, can you give me a minute?
Yes, sure. So if anyone has any other doubts, please feel free to drop your queries in the chat box. So we can, our expert speaker can clear your doubts right now. So any doubts are welcomed. Till then, let me give the link is tickering on your screen, that is of AZ Developer Community Discord server link. So you have to join that link for last day final day quiz, and the quiz winners will be getting Microsoft swag. So you have to join that link for participate in the quiz on the last day, on the fourth day. It will be organizing at 7 p.m.
Yeah, so basically I'm going to share this link. So it's just the pricing calculator. So basically you can check the pricing of whatever services you're going to use, or else I can share the screen and show you. Just a minute. Yeah. So basically if you can see, so now the basically the pricing depends on the region. So if I go for, okay, central US, and you want operating system as Linux, okay, Ubuntu, and it's basic or standard. Okay, maybe I'm using it for general purpose, and these are the different series, okay, series of instances. So here it's using 2 vCPUs, 8 GB RAM, and 16. So here it is going to shell out around 0.108 per hour. So see, you can take the number of instances. I mean, instances is like virtual machines, like 3 to 4 hours. So it's going to run around. You can increase the what number of hours it's going to run. Like four virtual machines will run up to 735 hours. So or else see, when you use D to 4 V4S model C. So if you're taking for 1 year, so you're getting 40% discount, and if you're using for 3 years reserve, you're getting 60%. So basically I think $126 per month. So you're getting, see, if, as I told, the standard tier and the premium SSD tires. So as you go for premium, the charge gets increased. So number of discs, like 2 to 3 discs, so 3 into this, so that will be the cost. Yeah, $2.27. So I think it's answered. Yeah, so basically you can see the core services of Azure here. So that is virtual machines, availability sets. So I think I can show you the resources. I can show the infrastructure as a service. So by creating a virtual machine itself. So basically this is the, sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think my screen is visible. So this is the virtual machine. So this is the infrastructure as a service basically. So if you have to create a virtual machine, I can choose from all this software. So create a virtual machine hosted by Azure. So you're going to click this. So basically when you're creating a virtual machine, you need a resource group. So resource group is like I think in tomorrow's thing you'll get to know. So you have to follow the naming convention like RG resource group camp. Okay, this is the resource group which I'm creating. So virtual machine name is, so basically I'm deploying my virtual machine in East US. So there are ranges. I mean, you can choose the location as you like it. So basically, I'm using East US. So this infrastructure is like an availability option, as I told, like a high availability. Like basically, what high availability means, like the infrastructure will, if one of the zone fails, the resources are available in the second zone. So but I'm not using it for the enterprise development, so I'm not using the availability option. So basically I can give the public key or the password, so either of the two will be working. So these are the disks. So you want a premium disk, so I premium is going to cost more, so I'm using standard. Just I'm just going to create, because I'm not going to explain in depth, because in tomorrow's session you'll get hands on this part. So this is just the infrastructure as a service. Oh shit, yeah, I think I missed some step. Yeah, so basically after you put after the validation is checked, I think I missed some required informations. Can you give me a minute? Chaining basic operations. Okay. So here the tags are like you can create who's what for what the application. I mean, what is this virtual machine used, like application owner, something like that. You can put the tags if you want it. So basically, I'm creating a virtual machine. So this was one of the services in infrastructure as a service, I guess. So you have to wait till the deployment. Yeah, so validation is passed. So I'm going to create the virtual machine finally. So basically, you can see it's initializing deployment. Means like the virtual machine is in the creation phase. So I'll just come back to it later and I'll explain you the other stuffs for now. Yeah, so here in you can see in networking. So once the VM is created, I can explain all the resources. So need some amount of time for this. Yeah, so we'll go for the next resource, that is platform as a service. So as I told, what is platform as a service? Like you can take things which are processed, like a chapati or a processed food, processed meat. So basically here everything is related to complete development and deployment environment in the cloud. So with resources, it enables you to deliver everything, like I told, simple cloud based apps to sophisticated enabled cloud enabled enterprise applications. So you purchase the resources you need from the cloud service provider, and you pay as you need over the secure internet connections. So so pass allows you to avoid the expense of complexity of buying software license. Basically you have to shell out money to buy software licenses. Like imagine you have a license, I mean you paid the software license for 1 year, I mean pay the amount for 1 year of using the license. So the next year when this software is upgraded, you need to buy one more software, or else if you're using a patented software, you need to pay the patented guy and then use the software. So that time you have to shell a lot of money. So here you have the application infrastructure, the middleware, the containers like the Docker containers, then you have Kubernetes services here. So the common scenarios for PaaS is like development framework. So here the PaaS provides a framework that developers can develop customized cloud-based applications. Similar way, like you create an Excel sheet, yeah. And PaaS developers create a built-in software components. So there is already you're getting the cloud features like scalability, high availability are already included, and it also reduces the amount of coding that developers must do. So basically, the advantage of using PaaS. So you might think, what is the advantages of using PaaS service? So why am I telling so much? So basically, it cuts the coding time. So PaaS development tools can cut the time it takes to code new apps. So basically, pre-coded applications are built into the platform. So like workflows are like, I can give an example of Azure Logic apps. So imagine you're trying to log into an Instagram account directly. So you can put a workflow in the Logic apps to do that actually, and you get to use sophisticated tools affordably. So pay as you go makes it possible for individuals to use sophisticated development tools like business intelligence. So that's important nowadays, business intelligence, and analytical tools like Azure Synaptic Analytics. So that, like, if you're purchasing those software, it's going to waste a lot of money. So when you're using cloud, you're getting all those services. So basically, if your developers are located geographically all over the world, so it supports geographically distributed teams, so that the teams can work together on one project sitting in any remote location. So basically, we have different Azure resources, like mostly passes used for development tools. Yeah, I told, like operating system also is handled by Azure. Only we are hosting the applications. So basically, if you think what is an example of PaaS service, it includes app services, Azure Search, or the CDN. So here we don't about to worry about anything. The OS server, you're just running the applications. So most of the developers love PaaS for this reason. So if not of Azure, you can take a common example of uh, Apache, OpenShift, Google App Engine, or the Heroku Cloud, or the AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So those are the example. So I was showing you the virtual machine. Sorry, I'm going to show you the virtual machine. Yeah. So this is the virtual machine. So this is the infrastructure as a service. So I've used Linux. So this is the size. This is the public IP. The DNS is not configured. So this is the networking. So you can enable monitoring. Like if the virtual machine goes down, so if you enable monitoring, it will get to know like why is the, like for the security purpose, why the service has gone down. So and then see, you can use this metrics you'll get to know the metrics, the CPU utilization, the network outage, the disks, the disk operations, availability. So there is access control also. Actually, I was the yeah. So everybody is curious about security in cloud. So I don't want others to access my resources. So I can add. So I am an administrator for this virtual machine. So I can add assignment. So add a role assignment. Like if somebody wants to, so owner access is like you're accessing all the rollback. I mean, you're giving full access to the person who wants to use this. So contributor access is also you can contribute, update or do anything with this. So reader access is like if you want to see what is reader access, so just click on view. So he gets only read permissions. There's nothing to do with this. So that is the safe option to give to any user who is out of your organization to just read the resources. You can't do anything with that. So that was the thing which I wanted to explain about the virtual machine. So if you have any questions for me, please.
Yeah, someone is asking what is Azure Resource Manager and how to
Okay.
create one.
Okay, fine. Azure Resource Manager is like the deployment and management service for Azure. So it provides a management layer that enables you to create, update, and delete resources in your Azure account. So basically, you use management features like access control, locks, and tags to secure and organize your account. So I have to show you how to access the one. Can you give me a minute? Okay. So basically, I'll show the screen. I'm sharing the screen. Yeah. So these are the all resources. So I have to explain. So basically, I'll explain what is the Azure Resource Manager first, and then come with that. So with the Resource Manager, you're going to manage the infrastructure. So what is the scope? First, you'll get the management groups, then the subscription, then the resource groups, then the resources. So Azure provides 4 levels of scope, that is management groups, subscription, resource groups, and resources. So basically, if I have to go, I'll have to go for subscription. Yeah, so here you can see the subscription. So so here when this above this there is management level. So I think I need to show the diagram. This nobody can understand. Yeah, just a minute. I'm going to share the screen once. Oops. Yeah, so basically now if you're using, this is my subscription. Okay, so above this there are management groups. So there can be many number of management groups with different subscriptions, and they'll have under the subscription you can create number of resource groups. So below the subscription you can have any number of resource groups for one subscription. So, and it's like a imagine take a manager in your company. So below that there are via the teammates, I mean under him there are some resources. So imagine those are subscription, and those subscriptions will perform some of the resource groups. They'll have some people under them to do the resources. And last, I mean imagine those are resource groups, and the resources are like they are able to perform some activities. So basically here the management groups will have different subscription, and below the subscription there are different resource groups. So basically resource groups are like containers where different resources are stored in that containers, and you can utilize them. So so this is Azure Resource Manager. So that is nothing, there is nothing which you can create a resource manager, but if you create a new account you'll get a subscription. So in that you can create different management groups, like you can add subscription. If I have to show, sorry, yeah. So here I can cancel the subscription. So if I upgrade, basically I can't upgrade now, so I can change the subscription to pay as you go. So something like that. So basically when you see, yeah, if you add extra subscriptions, see, so you'll get, see, for students also there are offer around 12 months offer you get. So basically now I want extra subscription, so I can select any of the either offer and use it. So now I had created a resource group, so that comes under this subscription itself. See, the RG Bootcamp is coming under this. So resource, what is a resource group? So resource group is like a container where all the resources are coming under it. So if you create one more resource, it comes under the resource group. It's like a container, like a dabba. You store everything. So everything comes under that. So that was it. I think I'm clear. Yeah. So coming back to software as a service. So what is software as a service? So basically you use to connect apps over the internet. So basically you can take example of uh, Dropbox or Office 365 as the real world example. You can take an example of Google Drive also. So that is like a software as a service itself. Or you can take as Instagram, that is also software as a service. So basically software provides a complete software solutions which you pay as you go. You rent the software, use it, connect it to the internet, connect via web browser, the middleware, the app software, the backend, everything is provided by the Azure itself. So basically if it's like you're renting a software, the company can rent the software, and based on the proper service agreement it will ensure high availability and the security of the app and the data as well. So SaaS allows the organization to get quickly up and running with an app at minimal upfront cost. So there's no upfront cost, no need of worrying about the upgradation, no need of worrying about the service expiry of the app. So basically you'll get it at an instant discounted rate when you're using it. So common scenario is like, imagine you have an Outlook or a Hotmail. So you log into your account over the internet from a web browser. So the email software is located on the service provider's network, and your message is also stored on that. So you can access your email and stored messages from a web browser or any computer. So you can use for any computer or a mobile phone to access your emails. So uh, the sophisticated apps basically include the CRM systems, the customer relation management, and the ERP, the enterprise resource planning, and the document management. So these apps are actually expensive if you go go for purchasing it. So you can pay for what you use these apps, like a subscription according to the gain of, I mean, the level of use. So that's advantageous thing for the company. So obviously you can use yeah, like I told, client, I mean, use free client software. So run the apps directly by the web browser, no need of downloading or installing anything. Although you might require some plugins to use those apps, so it's useful for the users. So I don't think I have to show the example of Dropbox or Office 365. So serverless computing. So what do you think serverless computing is? Is it like the server is not existing, or is it like there is no server? So serverless computing, it provides inbuilt infrastructure and a runtime environment to develop applications rapidly. So it is the next generation evolution. So everybody is evolving. Evolution of platform as a service. So maybe it's like already the meat is already cooked, and just take an example, like the meat is already cooked and it's coming. So same way, serverless is an evolution of platform as a service. So there is no need to worry about the infrastructure, nothing to worry about the management nor the scaling. So you might be thinking, what does this serverless computing do? So serverless computing helps users directly to focus on the development part of the application. So rather than worrying about the infrastructure, the compute storage, or all the rest of the infrastructure for the application, the developers can innovatively code for the application. So whereas this serverless computing, it takes care of the server related requirements with flexibility. So no need of worrying about provisioning, purchases, and the backend. So managing the backend servers is done by the Azure, the cloud provider. So basically, the best thing in serverless is that vendor provides all the backend services as they are needed. So what are the advantages? So there are advantages, and you might have a question like why we should build and use serverless. So you have, see, basically I told you have benefit from a fully managed service. There is scalability issue, so pay as you go, and you can seamless connections. So developer productivity. Imagine, okay, you're developing a web app. Okay, you have to uh, have the deployment of the infrastructure, what is running behind the server, everything. So more focus will go on the backend infrastructure rather than the code. So developer needs to focus on the code for more productivity. Yeah. So you might think, why is she telling about serverless computing so much? So there are a lot of advantages. So here, when it comes to serverless, so there is server management is not necessary. So although it takes on servers, developers never have to deal with servers. So you don't want a developer to deal with the server. So they should be managed by the vendor. So this can reduce the investment necessary in DevOps, so which lowers the expenses. And also it frees up developers to create and expand the application without any server capacity. So developers are only charged for the space what they use. So basically you don't want extra charge for both, right? So uh, like a prepaid plan, imagine you recharge for some amount of money and your talk time is going for a month. So same way the developer also can use this. So some services are so exact that they break their charges down exactly to 100 milliseconds. Yeah. So basically these serverless architectures are inherently scalable. So imagine if the post office could somehow magically add and decommission delivery trucks. Just imagine. So imagine the size of its fleet and the amount of mail spikes, like buzz, like a rocket, it might come, like a lot of delivery with unnecessary speed. So that is what serverless applications are able to build. So it will scale automatically, grow, decrease. Yeah. So the last topic for the day is the deployment model. So everybody's favorite, the public, private, and hybrid cloud. So public cloud, you take an example of public train. I mean, it might not be available in all this. Okay, take a public transport like a bus. So it's available to anybody. Everybody can go and uh, climb, use it. Maybe it's offered by a third party like private buses, but it's a public property. Everybody can use it as they want, pay the minimal amount and come. So private cloud is like your own vehicle. So you're supposed to pay for the petrol, you're supposed to pay for the maintenance of the vehicle, everything. So hybrid is like mixture, private and public mix. So I think the best example will be when you rent a car to some hospital facility, like public hospital, like for the doctors. So that can be an example of hybrid. So basically public cloud. So what do you think public cloud might be? So public cloud is like a computing service which is mostly offered by third party providers over the public internet, and it is available to anybody who wants to purchase and use it. Anybody can be using this. So public cloud can save expenses from the company to have costs, purchase, manage, and maintain on premise hardware applications. So every employee of a company can use the same applications from any office or branch using their device of choice as long as they can. So basically, you might face concerns like imagine, okay, Azure is a public cloud and many companies are using the same public cloud. What about the data? So Azure has a facility of isolation of data. So basically, one company ka data is physically isolated by Microsoft so that it doesn't get, right. If it's going to mix up, it's going to create a lot of blunders. So there is physical isolation of the data, like because public cloud is divided by multiple tenants. So that is public cloud. So basic example of public cloud is Azure App Services, Microsoft the portal itself, which is used to build and manage the cloud. Next comes the private. Yeah, like the private vehicle itself. So what is private cloud? So here it's like a private cloud is offered everything over the internet. It's like you're getting a service privately over the internet, only to the selected users, not to the general public. So it is also called as an internal or a corporate cloud. So basically, it gives many of the business benefits, including self-service, scalability, elasticity, and also customization is also available. In addition, private cloud is having high level of security and privacy through both company firewalls and the internal hosting to ensure they have sensitive operations are not accessible to third-party providers. So one of the drawback of private cloud is that the company IT department is responsible for the cost and accountability of managing it. So same way, it's like it requires staffing, management, and maintenance. So that becomes a big issue for the company. So what do you think might be the examples for private cloud? So like the use case I have told you this. Anybody from the audience, what is an example for private cloud? So okay, fine. Basically, okay, I'll give an example of public cloud first. So if you take Microsoft Azure is one of the public cloud, Amazon, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, then you have the Alibaba Cloud. So for private cloud, I think you can take the example of the virtual private network or uh, the Amazon's VPC in Amazon and virtual private network in the VNets in Azure. So now comes the hybrid mixture of the two. So what is hybrid cloud? So these hybrid cloud platforms connect public and private resources in different ways, but they are often used to incorporate common technologies like Kubernetes to orchestrate container services. Examples: Azure Stack, Azure Arc, something like that. So what is hybrid? So hybrid is like something called a cloud hybrid. Imagine a cloud computing environment that combines on-premise data center with the public cloud, allowing the data application to be shared between them. Some people like to define it like a multi-cloud. So, like some of the organizations want to be using more than one public cloud. So, what are the benefits of hybrid cloud? So, no matter which definition of hybrid, you can choose any definitions. Like basically, some of the services are in on-premise, okay, and you want some of the services to be in public cloud. So, when you're mixing those two, it becomes a hybrid, on-premise and public, like the mixture. So, when computing and processing demand increases beyond an on-premise data center, business can be using the cloud to instantly scale up or scale down. So some of the industries, like the highly sensitive industries like the banking, finance, healthcare. So for these industries, hybrid may be the best option because some regulated industries require certain type of data to be stored on premise while allowing less sensitive to be stored on the cloud. So in this kind of hybrid architecture, organization will gain the flexibility of the public cloud for less regulated computing tasks, which will still meet their industry requirements. So I think, yeah, so that was hybrid cloud, mixture of private and public. So next, when you come is the comparison. So you need to compare all the three clouds. First feature will be scalability. So scalability of public cloud is very high. So private cloud, it's limited. There is limited scalability for private cloud. So because of the cost, hybrid cloud, it is very high. And security is good, but it also depends on the security measures and services of the providers, like what are provided by the cloud provider to the customer. So then in private, most of the security is done, I mean the storage is done on premise. So there's nothing to worry about this. So when you come to hybrid, it's very secure. You have additional layer of security for this. So there's nothing to worry for security when you come to hybrid. So basically, in hybrid, they are using the security information and event management capabilities, because some of the organization find that the hybrid cloud is always superior to that of on premise. Some of the organizations so performance, it's like from low to medium, it can vary based on the customer's usage. And private cloud is very good because it's fully secure and it is customized. For hybrid, it is good, it is cached for on premise. Reliable, it's like, yeah, medium. It depends on the internet, constant service provider availability, like how, yeah, obviously the service provider is always available. And for private cloud, it's like high, as all the equipment is on premise, basically a data center. So hybrid, it is medium to high, as cached content is kept on premise, but it also depends on the connectivity provided by the service provider cost. So basically, public cloud is available to everybody, so it is cheap and affordable to everyone. So when you come to private cloud, that's like on-premise network, it's difficult to maintain. So the maintenance facility goes too much for the private cloud. So when you're coming hybrid, it's improved since it always allows some things, like if imagine when you're coming from on-premise, something is costing more, so you shift it to cloud. So you can manage the cost by rotating from on-premise to the cloud. So I think, yeah, that's all for the day. If you have any questions, please guys, tomorrow join for the session. So it's going to be hands on the Azure cloud.
Yeah, so perfect. So thank you, Niriksha. Thank you for giving your cloud insights to all. It was very great session, especially the cloud, like the hands-on session that came in the between, like about the Azure portal, about the resource groups, and creating a virtual machines. That was really insightful to all the audience too. So what we are doing is, guys, the tomorrow session is going to be entire hands-on session. So do participate in this, because this is my personal advice. If you have learned something today, and if you are not practicing it, because cloud is all about not specific about cloud, everything is all about hands-on practice. So if you will practice more and more, then you will get to know, and then you will then you will be able to pass the Azure 900 or any certifications that you want to. So please practice. So do join for today tomorrow session. And if you don't have, like, there is a basic instruction from my side. If you don't have Azure Portal account, create a Microsoft account. Then please avail your GitHub developer student pack, that is for free, that you can avail it for, like, if you have a college ID, you can avail it in 5 minutes. So please avail your, let me share the link, just a second. GitHub developer pack. So do, just a second. Okay, so some more paid courses, or basically some more paid subscription you can take, or you can facilitate from here through the GitHub Student Developer Pack. These all things are free for students, so you can enjoy all these things. So anything or anything regarding today's session, you have any queries, so you are free to share right now, or in case you get any doubts later, you can share it to the tomorrow session. And for tomorrow session, please activate your Microsoft account, and please activate your Azure Portal Pass. You will be getting $100 credits for the Azure Portal through this GitHub Student Developer Pack, and it is enough for a student, according to me, that I have experienced in my life. So you have to just avail. It is very simple process. Everything is explained very well in the Microsoft documentation, and do follow Microsoft documentation. Everything is like Microsoft documentation. I guess Niricha will agree with me. Like, Microsoft documentation is the best part to learn Microsoft
Yes.
certification and cloud. Yeah, no other resources will be helpful other than Microsoft documentation, official documentation. So do check out those. So I'm sharing the, like, okay, let me share this again. Okay, just a second. uh, Here is the Discord server link, and you have all have to join the Discord server link for the last day final day quiz. That quiz will be based on the syllabus that ma'am will be covering, and you have to follow the. Okay, so basically there will be 10 questions, and it will be like some basic questions to Azure Cloud or cloud computing, or something relative to your background. So do join that session, do join that quiz, and tomorrow the session will be live at 3 p.m. sharp. So it will be complete hands-on. So do participate in that. And thank you, Niksha, for joining us today,
Yeah,
and
no
see you
problem.
on the date.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.